We're going to kick off the show talking about big buck racks. Now, this is a big rack. It's a Pope and Young rack, and it's a record rack. But you know, this weekend at the Michigan Outdoors Fair, we had lots of people bring in racks that were bigger than this. The one that won made the Boone and Crockett record book, won the guy a $100 savings bond, and he has a crazy story to tell about how he got it. You're going to hear all about it in just a moment, so stay tuned. It's Thursday night and time for Michigan Outdoors.
From the rugged shore and woodlands of the north, its history of copper mines and iron ore, the Great Lakes fisheries. To the farmlands of the southern counties, we'll look around again at all that waits the sportsman in the state of Michigan.
We have the fellow we offered a $100 savings bond to the person who brought in the largest deer rack here at the Michigan Outdoors Fair that had not been previously registered. And the fellow turned out to be Alvy Smith from Clare. Alvy, when did you get this?
Oh, about 3 years ago in October.
Mm-hmm. Where'd you get it?
At a garage sale.
A garage. Well, you know what we have for you here? We're going to pay off here. Here's your savings bond that you can take down to the bank, and they'll give you a savings bond for that in Houghton Lake. Was it worth the investment?
I believe it was.
It was? How much did it cost you for this rack?
$2.
$2. Look at that. And won himself a $100 savings bond. Do you know anything about this rack? Where it came from?
Come from the Upper Peninsula.
Okay, but this will be able to be entered in the record book, Joe?
Yes, yeah. We'd like a little more history for our records. The more information we have on them, the better we can compile our records.
Okay, well, you've added how many new deer to the record books this weekend, the Outdoor Fair?
At least 20.
20 more record book
Qualifying deer, right.
And how many didn't make it?
About 8.
About 8? Okay, well, whenever you hear commemorative bucks is in the neighborhood, at a show, at an event, or come out to our deer hunters workshops, we'll be able to measure deer there. We'll have somebody from commemorative bucks at each of our deer hunters workshops this fall. Bring out the racks and see if you can't get them in the record book. Alvy, congratulations. You ought to make up a heck of a story to go with this, though. I mean, the story about the garage sale is a little blasé. You know what I mean?
Well, it's the truth.
It's the truth. You know, that's what Fred Bear said. When Fred Bear was here last weekend, he said the trouble with sportsmen nowadays is they aren't good enough liars anymore.
Well, that may be, but I'll still stick with the truth.
Good man. Alvy, congratulations. Thanks for bringing it down. Deer season is right around the corner, and if you'd like to prepare for it, if you want to know where the trophy buck racks are, you want to know where the deer are this fall, you want to learn how to butcher a deer, you want information on equipment, keeping warm when it's cold, all that type of thing, we're going to have all that information at the Stroh Deer Hunters Workshops, which we're having, Bob, in 10 locations around the state in October and first part of November. We will reveal those details on next week's show. Here's a fish that should be easy to identify, even if you have difficulty distinguishing between the salmons and trouts. The mouth is white, which means it's a trout, and those big black dots indicate it's a brown trout. This one came from an inland lake, Lime Lake in Leelanau County. It weighs 13.5 pounds, and Patricia Heffron from Midland caught it drifting with a minnow just before noon back in May. Now, the category for brown trout that come from inland waters has a minimum weight of 5 pounds, but this brown almost made the Great Lakes Master Angler minimum of 14 pounds. That's a trophy to be proud of. Here's another trout, but you can tell by the coloration that it's from the Great Lakes. Dark back, silvery underside, and very slight spotting. That's characteristic of Great Lakes fish. But this is a steelhead. Almost 21 pounds makes it a whopper right at the top for the year. Caught trolling a bass plug at 6:30 in the evening in mid-June, Maury Rice has a heck of a story to take back home with him. Maury lives in Torrance, California. We're going to send him some tickets to our Sportsman's Banquet in January, where he could pick up a special award. Who knows? He just might show up. Christopher Campbell caught several master angler fish last year, including some huge panfish. But his first entry in 1983 is a bowfin, or dogfish. Caught in Upper Straits Lake in Oakland County, Chris was casting for bass with a popper. This bowfin is 7.5 pounds, 33 inches long, and I'll bet you it put up a fight that will rival any bass that size. They're not much to look at, not very good eating, but bowfin are ferocious to catch. The Upper Peninsula pulls through with monstrous fish almost every week, and this time it's a muskie. It's a cross between a northern muskie and a northern pike called a tiger muskie. At 23.5 pounds, 41 inches long, it's half the size of the state record, which is 53 pounds, but it's a whopper nonetheless. Trolling a number 2 Meps at 8:45 in the morning, James Percunier from Ishpeming caught it in Rice Lake in Houghton County. We'd sure like to get into some of that UP muskie fishing sometime. And you know, this fall would be good. Just before deer season, those muskies should be on the rampage. And for inspiring us to go after fish like this, let's make James Percunier our Michigan Outdoors Upper Peninsula Master Angler of the Week.
Well, we've seen experts catch fish, experts fillet fish, and now we have an expert who cooks fish. Kay Ritchie, you were great out there hauling in those salmon.
Well, thank you, Fred.
But I happen to know that your cooking expertise is outstanding, and you were describing a recipe to me that you said is new to you?
It's just new to me. I had it the other night. A man grilled it for us, and it was just so good. And we're always looking for new ways to fix our fish.
Okay, and so are we. And how about sharing this with us? What do we do?
Okay, we start out by putting big, thick slices of Bermuda onion on the grill.
I bet you've never seen a fish grilling recipe that starts this way.
Okay, now it's very important that you do not use foil. The whole idea of this is to have the flesh of the fish right down next to the onion.
Okay.
We're just going to put these little pieces right in here.
Okay, well, there you go.
Very good.
First step, thick slice onion. Now what?
Well, now we're going to put the fillets on.
Put them skin side down?
We have left the skin on them. That's quite important also.
And you lay that on the onions?
Right. We're going to lay it right over the onion.
Okay. Like that. Now, how are you going to taste I guess the onion will seep through the skin?
We're going to turn it over after it, as soon as it's about half done.
Okay, now what?
Now, Fred, we want to put quite a bit of salt.
Okay, why don't you do that? And what is lemon pepper, I assume?
And lemon pepper.
Okay, how much?
Oh, let's really put it on there. That's really adds a lot of flavor to it.
Lemon pepper, it's a
great.
good ingredient for
Yeah.
fish.
I think that it really is good on almost any kind of fish. Even if you put a little bit of it in your breading when you're doing it, it's very good.
Well, this is going to be an interesting recipe. Now what?
Okay, now let's put a little bit of butter over it.
Well, you don't use too much butter.
No.
For salmon are oily anyway.
They are. These are such nice fresh salmon that there won't be an awful lot of oil in them because I guess they're thinking about going up the rivers though, aren't they?
They should be any day now, really. Okay, so we put that in and squeeze a little lemon on the top too?
Yeah, let's squeeze that
About a half
right
a
out.
lemon? Squeeze it right out, half a lemon on each fillet.
Let's just get it right out
Okay.
there.
All right, we have to wait a few minutes and then turn it over. How long do we wait before we turn it over?
Well, we're going to want it to be partially done, and it really would be better, Fred, if we had a grill that has a cover on it. But seeing as how we're doing this at dockside just about, maybe an hour after we got in, we're using what's available.
Okay, so we'll wait till it cooks a little bit and then flip it over.
Okay?
And here we are dockside with salmon we just caught this morning off Pete Rubianis' boat. Pete, how do you like that salmon?
Excellent, excellent.
Okay, well, this was cooked with Kay Ritchie's brand new recipe. It isn't even in your book yet.
No, that's
Savor
right.
the Wild, okay, but you flipped it over, didn't you?
Right. We turned it over and put butter and more lemon and the seasoning on the top of it, the
Okay.
lemon pepper.
When you serve it, you take the skin off and that dark meat that's on the
Right,
side.
yes.
Okay, and serve it up, and well, let me go down the line here and see how the people liked it. How do you like it, Ronna?
Very good, very good.
Looks like you took a big helping of onions.
I like the onions, yeah.
They're good. Now, you said, Kay, that you should just leave them on the grill.
Well, I said that I'd leave them on the grill because there was a lot of the skin mixed in with them, but Ronna took her time to get the skin off.
Oh, that's great. Can I have one there?
Maybe.
A little bit of an onion. Let's see. Mmm. Well, that is scrumptious. You like it too, huh, Pete?
Excellent, very good.
You must eat a lot of salmon.
I eat more than my share.
You catch more than your share, too, I think.
Yeah, I try awful hard.
Yeah, well, of course, Pete now says that the salmon tastes especially good after that little bit of diet of bread and water that he had. Yeah. We'll be back onto that story again next week. What are you going to do this weekend?
I think I might try a little fishing. Go back home, Battle Creek.
Around Battle Creek? Okay, well, I'm going to get up to Flint at the Flint Bowman and do some shooting up at their event this weekend.
Right.
Get out the bow and get a little practice in. But this past weekend, I really don't know how to handle this, Ed, for our audience. We had our Stro Beat the Pro fishing tournament, and you were a pro. You caught a bass.
Yeah.
14 inches. I was fishing for walleye and caught everything else.
Cut everything else in the lake.
Bob Grinder was fishing for pike and found out that they were very temperamental this past
Yeah,
weekend. We sort of got whooped. We got beat
Kinda.
on that one. We kind of did. I guess that's about all the detail we're going to go into on that, but the fish are hitting. Inland fishing is good, and
Oh,
it's going
yeah.
to be getting better and better as the nights
Oh,
get
yeah, they
cooler.
were hitting on Houghton Lake. It was just hard to catch the species that we wanted to catch,
That's right. But we're going to get better on that. We're going to have another Beat the Pro coming up. But we gave away some savings bonds to a couple of fellas who brought in some big fish, and we'll be doing more of this in the future. I guess we don't have to say anything more about Beat the Pro? Okay, well, why don't we just go to the tape where we give them their prizes and be done with it.
All right.
Okay. Well, I hope you have a good weekend outdoors, and get outdoors. It's a great place to be, and join us next week.
But we gave away a number of certificates that say Beat the Pro, and here we have a certificate to Bill Babcock, who took a 2-pound walleye. It sure looks bigger than 2 pounds, Bill.
Yeah, that is a nice walleye.
It is, and you're from Redford?
Right.
You caught this where and how? And when?
This morning, I was fishing out in the middle ground, so I was using night crawler.
Well, I did that.
Gotta be at the right spot, though.
The
right
right
time.
What time of day was it? Early?
About 11 o'clock.
No, they stopped biting much earlier
That's
than
when
that.
they start.
Oh, geez, well, I'm the pro. I was the pro. Well, here's your certificate, Bill. You don't have to grab it right now. We also have a $100 U.S. savings bond here for a 2-pound walleye. It shows that the guy can do it with a 2-pound walleye. I think next time the competition will be stiffer.
Sure.
But there you go. You can tuck that under your arm. You can hold that right there. Now let me get down to the fella here, or have him move right down here. This is Matt, and how do you pronounce your last name, Matt?
McCloudzovic.
Come over here, Ed.
Gladly. I like to get close to the size of a bass.
Look at this,
I
a
don't see it, Joel.
smallmouth bass. How'd you catch it?
On a flatfish.
Casting or trolling?
Trolling. Drifting.
Were you fishing for bass?
No.
Oh,
Doesn't count. Doesn't count.
Yes, it does. What were you fishing for? Walleye?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a heck of a thing. I tell you, the thing with Houghton Lake, there's so many fish.
Yeah.
Scoot over here, Ed. I want to show you what I caught while I was fishing for walleye. I not only caught this nice bluegill, but I caught what I think is a pretty good-sized crappie, and several of us in the boat took rock bass. During the weekend, I caught pike, I caught a 12.5-inch walleye, I caught a sublegal largemouth bass, and I was fishing for walleye. But there's an awful lot in this lake, and how big is that?
19 and a half inches.
And how much did it weigh?
3 pounds.
10 ounces.
Yeah, 3 pounds, 10
3
ounces.
pounds, 10 ounces out of Houghton Lake. Well, that's phenomenal. Go ahead, Ed. We're going to have to tuck the
Gladly,
certificate
yeah.
under his arm, and $100 savings bond to you. Matt, way to go.
Good job.
This is all it takes, folks, to beat the pros here, Michigan Outdoors, and we're going to have another, you can count on it, another Stroh's Beat the Pro Fishing Contest.
In June.
June?
Yep.
And it's going to be dead serious. And we're going to be tough to beat. So join us, but congratulations to you, Matt. Congratulations to you, Bill.
Thank you.
You did a great job. You're an inspiration to us all. Right, Bob? How about a round of applause for these guys? Good.